Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mandala Makers in Concert. I hope all of you have enjoyed maybe some of the warmer weather today while staying safe. We are excited to bring to you two dancers who are working from their outdoor studios, so they are making the most of this weather. And this is going to be a lovely inside moment to see what it's like to keep up our dance practice and discipline during social distancing without other bodies, which so many dancers are used to. My name is Ashwati Chenat. I am a principal artist and program manager with Mandala South Asian Performing Arts. This is a series of concerts that bring us the opportunity to engage with South Asian emerging artists. This is a platform for these artists to share their processing during COVID and give us insight as to what that means for their practice and how they are expressing and connecting with fellow artists and all of us. So we're extremely grateful to have them be a part of this. Mandala Makers is leading up to our festival, which will launch on June 13th. This festival is a digital space that brings together artists of all disciplines representing South Asian culture rooted in identity, having critical discourse about what it means to be working within their discipline and responding to social and political landscapes through their medium and their responses to COVID. This digital space is only possible with your support and these artists' brilliant insights. And we are hoping to raise $5,000 before our launch. So please consider donating to these artists who are a vital part of our expression as an emerging South Asian generation of artists and idea makers and providers of healing spaces for all of you. So please reflect with us, enjoy, engage with these artists, but please do support the excellence and wonderful perspectives these artists bring to all of us. So today, please like us on Facebook and follow us on YouTube and donate. So I will present to you tonight Ameera Nimjee and Colin Mascarenhas, fabulous dancers. And tonight our first artist is Colin, so I'm going to bring him on. Hi, Colin.
Hey, Ashwati. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Staying safe, staying indoors.
Not really.
Kind of. In between.
In between. Yes, we're working between worlds right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting us into your beautiful studio. You're very lucky to have that space.
Well, this is one of the reasons I'm staying sane, and it is an opportunity for me to, work more on dance. I take this as I look at it as a positive side where I can think of how I can work on dance and get better into it. Luckily, I have the space, which kind of is really helpful to work on my dance pieces.
Yeah.
And beautiful weather today. So
yes,
luckily,
very grateful.
Like it was raining last night and I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
But in any case, I would.
From Chicago.
Yeah. I would be happy to dance in the rain also.
Yes, ring dance next time. We need technology to get us there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Colin, I'll let you take it away. I just wanted to say that Colin was a part of our last production that premiered on March 8th. So we were very lucky to get it out before social distancing practices were in place. And I miss you dearly. So good to see you.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to let you do your thing.
All right. Thank you, Ashwati, for this beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. I am Colin Mascarenhas, and I have been learning Odissi for a couple of years now. I started learning back in Mumbai, and I continue learning here in Chicago as and when I get time. And this is a good opportunity as well as a good space that I've got where I can work on improving and thinking about new techniques, thinking about new aspects of dance. And thank you everyone for joining in and being part of this initiative. Uh, Thank you everyone for donating and yes, supporting the local Chicago artist. As part of today's performance, I will start with a small piece in Odissi called the Pallavi, which is a pure dance form, and you'll get to see more about it in the dance. There's less of abhinay or uh, a dialogue, but more of a pure dance, and you'll see today's Pallavi is about spring because we have a beautiful weather here in Chicago, and hopefully the coming few months are going to be really beautiful. So spring, I thought about choosing this particular item, which is called as the Vasant Pallavi, which is Vasant is basically spring. And it talks about how things change, everything is blooming, you see flowers, you see birds flying around, you see people in a very good mood because of the climate, and everyone is happy. So I thought about taking the spring rag, which is the Vasant Pallavi. All right, let's go in. Also, for everyone, I am by the blue line. If anybody is missing the feel of your work commute, either taking the blue line or the metro, uh, please be you'll see a little bit of sound coming in here and there. That's because of the blue line, but enjoy the time.
Pallavi is a graceful and lyrical pure dance item patterned after the accompanying music, utilizing the notes of a melody in a given rhythmic variation that are slow and subtle, as well as fast through body and feet movements. This Pallavi begins with a shlok or a chant on Rag Basant, which is the melody of spring. The item describes the beauty of spring with new leaves and flowers on trees. The cuckoo, along with other birds, sing, and people enjoy the pleasant mood and climate.
Hey everyone. Okay, let me see what's. Right.
Hi all, I think Colin needed to take a short break. I felt transported by his piece. I felt like I was watching him in person. So a little bit more about Colin. So Colin has been with Mandala Arts for the last year, and he starred as Lakshman in our story of Ram. He just has a wonderful, playful energy in rehearsal and is just a graceful and beautiful artist. And we're so happy to have him be a part of our concert tonight. And he's back. I'll bring him back. Colin, we're doing okay?
Hi. We are doing good.
Good.
How is everyone doing?
Everyone's enjoying you.
Thank you. All right.
Are you ready to jump back in?
Absolutely. So just to give you an background, I usually practice here. I usually try to balance my work as well as dance. It's a beautiful space here. Sometimes it's cold, it's raining, but the space has been great. And it's a really nice time to think about, to kind of revise, practice, learn new items. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of online things these days. A lot of people back in Mumbai, in Bhubaneswar, where Odissi is basically from, state of Orissa, a lot of people have started taking online classes. It's good to connect with other artists, learn more, practice, and um, join my dear neighbors who are also enjoying the dance. So it's really good to see everybody here. All right, Ashwati.
Did you call me?
So yes, are we good to start the next one?
Yes, please.
All right.
Please.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah. All right. So everyone, we just saw the Vasant Rag, Vasant Pallavi, which is basically a melody for spring. It describes the beauty of the spring, coming of flowers, leaves, with birds. And the next item is called as Batu, which is basically another piece within the Odissi repertoire, where this particular piece is dedicated to Lord Shiva, who is the dancing god, also called as Natraj. And uh, Guruji, who choreographed this particular piece, visited a lot of temples in the state of Orissa, and from those sculptures, a lot of choreography has been inspired. You would see musical instruments that I would be using, which is one is the sitar or the veena. The next one is the mardal, which is the drum instrument. The next one is the flute. And then you have the cymbals. Based on this, I would be performing different types of dances. I will also show Shringar, which is basically how you get ready when you plan to go out. You look in the mirror, you tie your belt. So you'll see all these pieces a part of this particular dance. And it's a beautiful piece. If you end up visiting the temples, you'll see these sculptures there. You'll see uh, somebody playing the flute, somebody playing the sitar, which is the string instrument, the drums, and cymbals. All right, so let's get started and move on to Batu.
Colin!
Thank you, everyone.
I don't think the blue line has ever seemed more effective, and I don't think I don't think we've experienced such a sensuous Chicago twilight before. So thank you for
Thank you so much, Ashwati.
sharing your artistry with us and your space. This is special.
Yes, absolutely. This is really special. I've been using the space, trying to balance my work as well as dance. I try to practice, sometimes in the middle when I get a break.
Can you back up just a little?
Yes. Yeah, so I kind of use the space whenever possible. My neighbors have been wonderful, really patient, and I hope I didn't cause a lot of noise. But
your neighbors need a little bit of a shake-up, I think.
They all are here actually. They are sitting here and they are enjoying the performance, maintaining social distancing.
Yes.
And it's really nice to have the space and dance. And I hope everybody enjoyed this particular piece.
I think they did. Colin, we're going to bring you back for a Q&A after. So everyone, please think of any thoughts, comments, questions for Colin, and we'll bring him back in a moment. So next, we're going to see Ameera. So bye, Colin. See you soon.
All right. Bye.
Hi, Ameera.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for joining us from the West Coast where there's still so much light.
Yeah, it's really wonderful out today.
And you're blessed with no rain as well. Okay, I'll let you take it away.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
So namaste, salam to everybody, namaskar, and salam to those who are breaking fast at the moment for Ramadan, those who are observing Laylatul Qadr tonight. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration of a very particular aspect of Kathak. I'm sure you have heard of Kathak dance before and observed it in different ways. One of the ways you might have observed it before is in Bollywood, for example, and it's very appropriate that it is Madhuri Dixit's birthday, the Bollywood diva who really has popularized Kathak in Bollywood. But there are other types of the tradition that draw from some of the stuff that Colin was performing earlier. Ideas of presenting storytelling, the use of the eyes and the hands in telling stories in mime. But today what I'm going to do is talk about the musicality and rhythm of Kathak in particular, and I'm going to do a bit of a demonstration with that. And one thing that you would have seen in Colin's performance is this use of the feet on the floor to make rhythm. And so I'm going to demystify that a little bit. But before I do, I just want to present a composition for you. And then I'll basically reverse engineer the way we get to performing a few more compositions. So that said, I'd like to turn on my music here. You'll hear this melody throughout the performance. Okay, it's a 16-beat cycle and I'll explain that. But for now, I will recite the composition and I will also dance the composition, okay? Here we go. So try and listen for that in the way I dance it with my body. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle back, talk about breaking down music in Kathak, and then I will show you a few more compositions that draw on that particular what we call bol or word. Okay, so I'll change speed a little bit and bring you into what we call Hindustani music. And one moment. All right. So Hindustani music is very, very closely related to Kathak. We have systems of rhythm that are built on the way musicians in the Hindustani North Indian classical tradition play. So right now in COVID-19, the pandemic, I don't have an opportunity to work live with musicians as I would usually be doing. So what I have is my trusty melody. And this melody is very important, and I'll help you all count it together. It is a repeating melody that marks the 16 beats of what is called a tal, or a rhythmic cycle. And this rhythmic cycle, there are many different ones. Today's is in 16, we have some in 10, in 8.5, in 6, 14, but today's is going to be working in 16, and I'm going to help you count through that so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're at 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. So a very, very important part of Kathak, of Hindustani music, is the resolving of any sort of composition on the one of a new cycle. So that's why we call it a cycle, because you begin and you end on one. Okay, so what I want you to watch for what I present to you today is how I end on one. That is called sum, beat one of a cycle. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of the way that I make sound with my feet. I hope you can see this with the light coming in. The idea is that we use the floor as if it's a drum, and we use our feet to tap out rhythms on this floor, okay? Now you all walk and you do all your things every day, and you probably wouldn't have thought that, oh, my feet can make different kinds of noises. This is what Kathak really does for us, which is attune our ears to hear as well as watch what's going on. So my feet can use my heels to make noise. I can use my flat feet. I can use my toes. Okay, I can use the sides of my feet. Okay, and then I can do things like drag, if you heard that. And these are things that we do to be able to express rhythm. Okay, now one big part of Kathak that you might have noticed before is that we use our feet very quickly, right? And I want to tell you that the speed and the increase of speed is actually done quite mathematically based in rhythm. So what I'm going to present for you is what is called Tatkar. For those of you who are familiar with Kathak, you would know that Tatkar is really our home base in a particular 8-step pattern. And the pattern goes like this: right, left, and left, right, okay? So what we do to increase speed in this mathematical formula is we don't think of going faster or slower. What I would do in a composition is I would play with the rhythm of how I would put more and more of that 8-step cycle into one larger rhythmic cycle. So let's call this 8-step a pattern, okay? So I'm gonna present for you the way I would take it from 4 repetitions to 6 to 8 to 12 and to 16. Here we go. Watch how many times my right foot comes back, and I'll help count them for you too. Okay, so we'll bring you in from 9 and 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14. Here we go. 4 repetitions. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'll move on to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. 1, 2, 3, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'll take us up to 16. So I'll bring it in back from halfway through. That was the old speed. And I'll take us up to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. So that is just one of the ways that we play with rhythm, but in a very mathematically derived formula. We play with the idea that increasing speed is much more to do with the idea of rhythmic fit than it has just to go fast. So that is a pattern called Tatkar, right, left, left, right. And this particular thing I was working on is something I have been practicing on my own during COVID-19. And I presented 4, 6, 8, 12, and 16 times in one cycle. Right now I'm working on 5 times, 7 times, 9 times, and that really is an intellectual process. So I want to present one more thing to demystify some of the rhythm stuff here, and that is what is called Tihai. So let me speed us up here. All right. Okay, so this is the same cycle, 16. It's just faster. So I'll help you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. Okay, so this is the same Teen Tal cycle, and what I'm going to present for you is a very important, another super important tenet of both Hindustani music and Kathak called Tihai. Now, Tihai is the idea, it's a mini composition or a phrase that you repeat 3 times verbatim to land on one of a new cycle, okay? So let me present a few ideas, and this is just improvisation. This is an improvised tradition, and so I will present some improvisation for you. Okay. So let's count the cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, and 3, and we call it Bharitya. Here's a nice Tihai. Very simple. All you're doing is presenting one phrase, repeating it 3 times, and coming back to some. I'll do the same. 1, 2, 3. Now, I do that with my feet. I can also do it with my body. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Let me try another way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, let me show you another Tihai coming from some. how would I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. How would I take that up? 1, 2. That's another way to do it. Here's another way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah? That's another way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah? So these are just different ways that we return to some. These are different ways we can articulate rhythm. The highs come from different counts of a cycle. They don't always have to come from 1. They can come from 2 and 3. And that's another thing I've been working on during COVID, is to work on a set of the highs that have been developed by my teacher and our guru, Pandit Chitresh Das and Joanna D'Souza, who have developed different highs coming from every count of a rhythmic cycle. And this is excellent for rhythmic training because at once I'm able to listen to the cycle, the melody, work with the musician when a musician is available, and then be able to perform. So the last thing I'll do is I'd like to perform a few compositions for you so you can see, and hopefully you'll be able to watch them in a renewed way, okay? All right. So I'll recite them. This is a tradition of Bone in which we recite what we do in dance. Watch for my musicality in how I recite and how I dance. Here we go. So this is the first one I showed you, and I'll draw from here. Here we go. Next one. Should I stop or maybe do another one more? I know we only have a few minutes left.
Ameera, thank you so much. I think we do have to wrap it up. Yeah, just so much clarity in the way that you're educating us all about the forum, and I think everyone really appreciates like just the beauty of your your form of education, where we get to see, we get to feel, we get to hear. So thank you so much, and your musicianship is so clear as a dancer, and it's beautiful to watch. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I'm gonna bring Colin on. I know we want to hear a little bit more from you after your performance, so let me step out.
Hey, Ashwati. Hi, everyone. Hey, Ameera.
Hi.
That was amazing. Really like the connection between maths and music and dance. Just to share something, one of my gurus back in Mumbai had performed something called as Leelavati, which is basically again dependent on which is basically a treatise of maths. It talks about the algorithms and Pythagoras theorems, and we try to do that in the form of dance. So that was beautiful. It is like a lotus is standing, and then the wind kind of blows it to an angle of 45 degrees, and then how do you calculate what is the depth of the water, those kind of things. So it was really beautiful. So it's really nice to see that.
Thank you so much, and likewise, I have so much to draw from your performance. And I know there's some questions here from some folks, but yeah, I think one of the most beautiful elements of Odissi to me, and the way you do it is so gorgeous, is this the torso movement. It's beautiful, and also expression through abhinay. I think that's really, really lovely, and something we all work on day by day in terms of storytelling.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most one of the things that kind of attracted me to Odissi is the music. If you listen to Odissi live music and somebody's performing, I'm sure others also who have like watched a live performance of Odissi will tell you that you'll fall in love with Odissi. There's like so much of variations. There's as you said, the torso movement is different from your leg movement, your neck movement, the tribhangis, chokes, and the details. It's beautiful. Yeah. And that was so how are you managing it in these days of COVID? Like
I'm very lucky to have this space. I think Pranita and I had pointed out before we started, I have a garage Nataraj here.
Garage Nataraj.
And I established a dance space here at home. So I feel very fortunate to be able to continue to practice. And, I do feel that there's always things to work on as a dancer. It's a lifelong pursuit. And I feel very humbled by that, especially right now, that if I really, really want to work on things, I have more than enough to work on. I miss the social aspect of, like Ashwati was saying at the beginning, dancing with other people, collaborating. I miss working with musicians live very much. So that's a little snapshot of what I've been up to. But what about you, Colin?
Yeah, it's the same here. I'm missing socializing, meeting people, and these activities, events, especially that summer is coming soon. You have a lot of events happening in Chicago. But having said that, it's it is what it is. But I look at it in a very positive way, that it's a good way to introspect and understand, learn more about dances, revise your old stuff, connect with people. Because I know after this, people have started coming and more innovative ways how to connect with other dance members, and how we can work together. So there's more collaboration. Sorry about that. That's the yes, the blue line. And just to tell you about the blue line has been running like before. The frequency hasn't changed. the number of people traveling by the Blue Line has obviously reduced, but yes,
Wow.
you have heard that a couple of times. But yes, this is a good time, where people have started. I know a lot of people who are not very excited or used to think twice coming online and teaching or learning or collaborating. This is people of newer, younger generation as well as older generation. They all end up coming and kind of work together.
Sure. And I mean, I think it's really exposing the resilience of some people. That's very, it makes, I'm humbled by it and also motivated by how resilient I've seen people. And, if this is one forum to just say thank you to all of those who are on the front line, in transportation, in grocery stores, in, essential businesses, healthcare. I salute you and I, announcement. If there's anything I can do to help, please let us know. You with your work.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. And definitely,
So
I've seen a couple of people sending their wishes. My guru Ankur Balal is here. Thank you for your wishes. Rajiv has a question. What is the role of storytelling in both Odissi and Kathak? Are the narratives meaning to be conveyed, and are the bowls sometimes in words? So yes, definitely there is always a storytelling, through any form of art, dance, or music. Uh, Especially in dance, Indian classical dance, you're telling a story. And I know even like Kathak, you have a lot of stories that you tell. Many of them are associated to mythology, but I've seen, as I just mentioned right now, that we did something on mathematics, and then there have been social issues which have been discussed and dealt with or displayed through dance. There's a lot of creativity involved. People can there's music, there's I wouldn't say fusion, but definitely like the jugalbandi that we say, and I remember Guruji, Guru Keducharan Mahapatra, and Kathak Guru Biju Maharaj performing together a piece of Radha and Krishna, and the love between them through devotion and piece of dance. So I think, yes, that's definitely the case even with Kathak.
Yeah, and I think to pick up on Rajiv's question as well, thank you for that question. What I think these Indian classical dance forms bring is a grammar to be able to tell stories. And the grammar is sometimes codified, but there's a lot of room for expression. And I think that, like Colin said, there are stories that have come from the mythological stories, especially the Hindu mythology with Radha Krishna and Ramayana and these stories. But there's also the grammar that is offered to be able to render expressive other story content. And bowls, you asked about bowls, and I think Harpreet has a question about bowls, so maybe I'll address it both here, which is that this is a very interesting mishmash of language. It sometimes the sounds relate automatically to the way the feet hit the floor. So right? Sometimes the bowls themselves mix in with shlok repertoire. So things like Hara 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 Maha Deva Shankar Dhana Dhana, it mixes together. So I think it's really a language that is constantly evolving and constantly full of different places that it draws from.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Hi all. Thank you for taking the time to answer some of the questions from our audience. It's just, I think it's special that we're able to connect at this time, despite everything that's going on, and that, like you said, arts are resilient. They always are. I joke that we're the cockroaches of the world. We will continue to make art despite any odd and obstacle thrown at us. And for those of you who don't feel inspired to create, look towards your fellow artists, reflect, enjoy, and I think, yeah, thank you for sharing right now. It's needed, and you all are brilliant and beautiful. So
Thank you.
so many compliments.
Yeah.
But they're sincere.
And thank you everyone for joining in today. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
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 Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for being part of this initiative.
Yeah.
Please donate if possible, as much as possible, and support the local artists, the South Asian
Support your local artists.
Yes, it's possible.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing the stage with me, Colin.
Thank you, Ameera. It was wonderful.
Thank you for letting me share the stage with you.
No worries.
And Ashwati, thank you so much for this event, and to Mandala
Yes,
at large.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you, Blue Lines. And please follow Ameera and Colin. They are still creating work during all of this, and it's exciting to hear the time that you're having to kind of explore new things. So we will keep our eyes on you all. And all right, I'm going to say goodbye. I have one more message for the public. So I'll say that. Thank you all for being a part of this and supporting Colin and Ameera by engaging and being here tonight, and supporting the emerging South Asian artists who are voices of a generation that is between cultures and sharing their experiences through their form. And we're so happy to provide a unique platform that gives them the opportunity to do that, and invest in them, invest in these artists so that young people can look towards something and have themselves seen in art making, and know that their voices matter. And so on that note, Mandala Makers Festival launches June 13th. All of our Mandala Makers in Concert events are going towards supporting operations and artists that are a part of that. We have a $5,000 goal. And finally, next week, we are going to have Tuli Bera, a wonderful movement artist based in Chicago, improvise with Chetan Anand, who you've seen before in our series. He's just an extremely talented vocalist and Bansuri artist, and we'll see what happens when mediums collide. And then the week after, we have storytellers from the South Asian comedy scene. We have improvisers. We have Tushar, Asra, Mahin, Rohan, Sophia, and Masood Haq, who are putting on an improv set, and Jitesh Jaggi, who will be doing storytellings from his experience as an immigrant in the US. So please be a part of that, engage, support, and we hope to see you next week. And here's a promo for what will happen in the future.